Hi guys, and welcome to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. I really do appreciate it so very much. Welcome. My name is Aiden. I'm so happy that you are here for another 4 for 4. Kind of a cheating. This is more of a 4 for 3 because these are all blush trios. So I have 3 blush trios that I have worn. I wore every single shade in each one of these, and I wanted to talk to you about them, compare them, maybe declutter. I've been doing a lot of decluttering lately, so if you've been watching this series, you know that there's been a lot of things that I have been decluttering or deciding that I don't love and that I don't need to keep a hold of. So if you're interested in seeing any of those, I will have a playlist listed up above so that you can watch all of them that I've done. Today, the 4 blush palettes that I have is from Tarte. This is the Double Duty Beauty Make Every Moment Count blush palette. Then I have the Alamar Cosmetics. This is the medium, the Colorete blush trio in medium tan, and they have slightly repackaged this, but I'm pretty sure it is still the same colors. Then I have Becca. Oh, I'm so sad about Becca closing down. This is the Blushed with Light blush trio palette, so I do have 3 shades in there, and these are available individually too, so you might be able to still grab those. And then Smashbox, this is the LA Lights blush and highlight palette. This is not a highlight palette anyway, and it is in Culver City Coral. Let's start with this one so you can see that it really isn't this is a blush on me. Maybe on somebody with deeper skin, this is not a blush, but this is definitely a blush on me. It's not really like glowy either, like the glow that I have on with my highlighter today. It's not that type of a shade. So these are very simple. I do have another one of these. It will be in my next blush trios, so you'll see the other one that I have. So these do have 3 shades in each one of them, and this I got at TJ Maxx or Marshall's. I really was excited to find them. As you can see, there are 3 shades. They're very powdery shades. They don't look the best when you're swatching them, but I really love how they perform on the skin, and they just look really pretty and glowy. If I get close, you can kind of see, ignore the shade changing, but you can see like the texture. But if I try to rub them in, you're going to see that they blend out really nicely. I just want to make sure that I blend in the right color because that can always be bad. I'm going to blow this one off just a little bit because the lightest one seems to be it's not quite the same formula as the other 2, so I can see how they call it a highlight, but I still wouldn't call that a highlight. There you can see how the texture really changed. The color did it, but it blended out really nicely, and that's why I really do like this palette and why I have it in 2 different shades. So this is one that I definitely would recommend, and I think it's a nice palette. Once again, this is the Smashbox LA Lights Blush and Highlight Palette in Culver City Coral. And I will have them all listed down below so that you can find them easily that way. This is probably going to be a really short video because these are so fast to go through. Next is the Becca Blush with Light. The 3 shades in here are Wisteria, Songbird, and Snapdragon. Once again, it is plastic packaging. It does have a mirror, and that is what the 3 shades look like. So you get a really good mix of them, and the way that it's formulated, the sticker, so when you're looking at it like this, it actually is right side up, so you can see that this is Wisteria, this is Songbird, and this is Snapdragon, which I really appreciate. I wish more brands would be so like intuitive about how they name it, because sometimes it's really hard to tell what the shade names are versus what the colors are in the palette. I love Becca blushes. They are very soft. They're not going to have as powdery of a finish. These are ones that you definitely have to build up, but you can build them up. As you can see, like Snapdragon, it doesn't look nearly as bright as it did in the pan. The middle one, what is that one? Songbird swatches really nicely. Let's do a little build up of Snapdragon so you can kind of see. So they do build up very nicely, but you can get a light wash of color. You can really adapt these. They're very soft. They're not powdery like the other ones. These have a much creamier finish to them. I'm very sad that Becca is going out because not only do they have amazing highlighters that I really love, their blushes were so nice, and I know people really liked their Bronzers too, I don't have a lot of experience with their bronzers, but this is a palette that I definitely would never declutter because it is so nice and I really, really like it. I think this is one of my ideal blush formulas, actually. It's really, really nice. And the colors are just, you have such a good mix in here. So you have like a bright, you have a very neutral, you have a more peachy one, but they look nice. And I really like this one. So rip Becca. All right, our third palette is from Alamar Cosmetics. This I got in a BoxyCharm. The Becca palette I forgot to mention, but I'm pretty sure I got that at TJ Maxx or Marshall's because that's where I usually get them. So this one, it does have a mirror too. This is cardboard packaging with magnetic enclosure. And the colors in this one, this is the medium tan. This was the palette that called the most to me. The darker one is just way too dark of shades, but the light one is very, they're all peachy and they're kind of washed out tones. I don't think that they would look very good on my skin tone. I like something with a little bit more color to it, a little more peachiness or pinkishness. Like they were just kind of, I don't know, they were not the prettiest shades. If I can remember, I'll try to insert a picture of it up above. Let me swatch these for you. I really love this blush palette. This is probably, when I think of all of my blush palettes, this is probably one of my favorite palettes. This is it's not as creamy as the Becca formula. It's not as powdery as the Smashbox. These are just really soft, beautiful shades. They do pack a little bit of a punch, as you can see, but you can tell that they're also just really beautiful. Like they go on really nice and you can blend them out. So if you want to go very light, you can. As you can see, like it blended out and it's not nearly as dark as it was a minute ago. I love this palette. I don't do a lot of bronzer. I have a little bronzer on. I'm trying to get better at bronzer. But this formula, I would be really interested in trying other, shades or other products. Like I think if they came out with like a powder, a setting powder, I would really be interested in it. And I'm kind of even interested in, a bronzer. Not a bronzer trio because that's not going to be good for me because like one shade is more than enough for me, but I really do love this palette. I think it is so nice and yeah, another awesome palette. All right, the last palette today is the Tarte Double Duty Beauty. It's a cheap palette. It says make every moment count. This I got in an Ipsy bag, one of my Ipsy Pluses. I should have blown it off because there's a lot of, this one does have a lot of kick up on it. Some shades more than others. So you do get 3 shades in here. They have the traditional round pan and then the 2 other pans. So that kind of irritates me just a little bit. Like just make them like do 4 or do 2. I don't know. Let me know if this type of thing bothers you. Maybe it's just me. So I will say that this shade is more of a shimmer. The other 2 are more mattes. And this one definitely has more kick up. I feel like the square palette pans are not the same formula as the circular pan, which is interesting, and there's definitely a lot more kick up in that medium pan. There was so much fallout with that. I had to clean up a little bit because there's so much. This one picks up just a lot and it deposits, it kind of gets everywhere. So this one, I do like the shades. I think they're very pretty and there are shades that I will wear and I like how they look on the skin, but these are not as easy to use as the other palettes. This one, you have to go in with a light hand. You have to be ready for kick up and to like knock a little bit off of your brush, which I don't mind, but it's just not as nice of a formula, I feel, as the other 3. This one, they're still beautiful. I love the Tarte ones, but these are not the Amazonian clay formula by any means. They're softer, they're more powdery. Yeah, they're still nice. Like this one looks a little kind of funny and they do blend out nicely. Like as you can see, they will blend out and they will work eventually, but they do take more work than the other palettes. All right, before I do my final ranking on these, if you haven't already subscribed, please do subscribe. And if you have tried any of these palettes, let me know down below what your thoughts and opinions are on them, or if there's another palette that you think I should try that would be even better than these, let me know to that as well. I think you're probably going to know already what is in fourth place. This is the Tarte Double Duty Beauty Make Every Moment Count palette. I really do like this one. It is a pretty palette, and it is one that I've worn quite a bit over the year or two that I've had it. I will continue wearing it. This is definitely one that I don't want to declutter. Spoiler, I'm not going to declutter any of these palettes this week because I just like them all, which hasn't happened for a while. So this one is a nice one, but I feel like the quality and the ease of use is the hardest, the least and the hardest of them all. In third place, I'm going to put the Smashbox L.A. Lights Blush and Highlight Palette in Culver City Coral. Why such a long name for such a small palette? I still really like this palette. Like I said, I like the shades in this one a lot. I'm going to have one in my next one that's different shades, and I will tell you before that I like these shades just a little bit more. I really like the coral shades. I think it's really pretty. I like that there's a big mix of them, and I use them all as blushes. So I do like this one. I just don't think it's quite as good as the top two. In second place, I'm going to put the Becca palette. I love the Becca formula. Like I said, these are just so beautiful. They build up really well, and they're just really gorgeous colors. So, and I like the formula. I love the formula on this one so much. So this one is in second place, which means in first place, I am putting the Alamar palette. This is the Colorete Blush Trio and Medium Tan. Forgot, I'm going to say the Becca one more time. Blushed with Light Blush Trio. This one is in first place because when I think of my favorite blush palettes or my favorite blushes, this automatically comes to mind. This is right up there in the top. If I'm going to say my favorite blush, I'm probably going to say Papa Don't Peach by Too Faced. That's my favorite, but these are definitely up there with my favorite blushes, so that's why it had to be in first place. I just really love the colors of them. I really love just how it builds up and how they look on the skin. Just have so much fun with this palette, and this is one I actually have a backup of. I'm trying to decide if I should let that backup go, because do I really need all of the palettes that I already have? So let me know if you think I should let that one go, if I should try to sell it or whatever. Let me know down below. Let me know if you've tried any of these palettes, what your thoughts and opinions are on them. I hope you're all having a fantastic day. Thank you so much for stopping by, and I can't wait to talk to you next time. Bye.